Ahoy there, crafters! Remember, don't forget your sunscreen!
Welcome back to Creatures, Cowards, and Crafting. Today, guys, I have another pleasant surprise. Let me go ahead and grab a knife. We'll open this miniature up. I always like to open this in front of the camera so you guys get a sense of the unveiling as I see it. I will say that the vendor I purchased this from off of eBay did securely package it, so I'm not expecting any problems with the miniature itself. Just tear through this bubble wrap. And here we go. Alright guys, behold a second edition Gamma World miniature. This miniature was made by TSR in 1983, which makes it, I think, 38 years old. I thought that we could paint him today and do this guy a little justice, put him on the game table, and finally play with him. I did take some close-up shots for you guys so you can see it a little bit better. I know that it's not on the standard of like some of the Space Marines or the elaborate miniatures that you're used to. However, there is a bit of nostalgia, a little bit of trip down memory lane for miniatures like this. So here's the miniature after I've cleaned them and I gave it a nice white prime. I'm going to be going for a coconut crab paint scheme for this miniature. This scheme was done by, I believe, it's Catgut Painting. And I'll link his video in the comments, so I'm not trying to take credit. I will be cutting some corners because I didn't have all the paints he used. But basically what we're going to do is try to start off with like an orange brown. And this is just kind of a mixture I created. We're going to create some blinds here, especially where the car face is. Go ahead and work that down. And this model is very small, so I'm not going to be able to do it like some people would on like a Gene Stealer model, but I think it'll come out looking good in the end. Here in the middle, what we're going to do is take some black brown, and again, this is my mixture, and we're just going to go down the middle like so. And I'm also going to repeat this step on the legs, and I'll show you that here in a moment. So once I get done with filling in the brown black, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the edges using that orange brown, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right now. Here we are, I'm just filling that in up to the gaps. And then I'm also going to take some white and I'm going to start breaking up the pattern. And here we go, I'm just going to start with the outer edges here. And the key to this is to kind of load up your brush, and at the same time you want to add a little bit of maybe a little bit of acrylic thinner, just kind of thin the paint, and we're just lightly dabbing it. I'm trying to keep this small because this is a small miniature. I'm not sure if you guys ever played Gamma World. That was one of the coolest games I grew up playing, if that's any testament of how old I am. Yep. And here we go. Here's the miniature after I've added the white. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back with that orange brown. And we're going to go out here to the outside and add a little bit. And we may even come in onto the brown black and add a couple of spots there as well. And here's the miniature once I've added the orange brown, and I also went and added some brown black dots as well. Remember when you're doing this to kind of step away, let things dry, come back, and if your brain is still picking up on the line pattern, maybe add some more dots. Just make sure you're keeping it opposite. If you're going with the orange brown, you want to put white dots. If you're on the orange, use the brown black. I'm going to use some Army Painter Strong Tone just to kind of go into the recesses of the car face. Just going to take a small brush here, and we can keep this relatively thin. If you want to thin it with water or acrylic thinner, you can do so. And I think I'm going to do the legs as well, and maybe a little bit on the back. For the tentacles, I'm going to use a red ink. I'm just going to put this very lightly on, make sure that we don't have any pulling on it, allow it to dry. And now I'm going to use a burnt umber just to pick out the wood. We're going to work on the spear here and the harpoon gun. I think that's a harpoon gun. And remember guys, you can always thin your paint out. You don't have to glop this on. In fact, it always looks better if you do thin it. We're also going to pick out the blade and the arrow with some metallic paint, and I think I'm going to use a linen on the rope around the blade and the spear. Once everything's nice and dry, what we're going to do is take some quick shade. I'm using a soft tone on this, and I'm just going to dip this guy in. You want to make sure that he's very secure. Last thing you want to do is go fishing them out and have a mentor drop in there. And we're just going to let it hang there for just a second, brush off the excess, waste not, want not, right? And then we're going to flip them over and continue that process. We'll wipe off the excess using a napkin, and we just want to make sure that we don't have any pulling around the feet. And here's our model once the quick shade has dried. You want to give that several hours, make sure it's not tacky to the touch, and then we're going to hit it with some Tester Dull Coat, allow that to dry, and now we're going to start adding some details, especially the eyes. To do the eyes, what I'm going to do is first of all add a black dot, and I'm going to allow that to dry, and then I'm going to go back and with a very small brush add some white in the middle. You can also add an additional color to the white if you want to. I'll probably go back and add a little orange, and that'll look like a pupil. If you have a hard time doing this, just try to stabilize yourself and know that if you mess up, that's okay. Let it dry. You can always go back and hit it with the black and start over. And now we're going to add some highlights to do this. I'm just going to add some white around the face. Also some metallics to the blade of the spear and the arrow on the crossbow. And this guy wouldn't be complete if we didn't put him on a base. I'm just going to do a simple Martian base on this. I use Martian Iron Earth by Citadel Paints, and there's some painting tutorials you can find on YouTube for that as well. Last but not least, the coconut crab paint scheme in the back. I know guys, my mediocre painting skill keeps you coming back, but I think this guy looks good, and I think he is playable for the table. Hey guys, that's a wrap for this week. If you enjoyed the video, maybe hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, and more importantly, share this video with someone that might like this type of content. Should have another video for you guys in another week. Here in America, we're going to be enjoying our 4th of July holiday. If you're celebrating the 4th of July, please be safe. And if you're in another country, please be safe as well. We hope to see you back. Take care, and goodbye.